Hello everyone, this is Kevin, your Apptrepreneur, and Uber is being sued over the upfront pricing in New York City. I'm just going to be blunt about it. They're getting sued. The lawsuit is being brought on by a woman who is married to an Uber driver and had many opportunities to compare fares to drivers, found out that the average ride costs $2 or $3 more, which is interesting because over in California, I've seen other people do comparisons, and the average Uber ride is $7 to $9 more each ride than what the driver ends up getting. And she has filed a class action lawsuit against Uber. Now, will it actually succeed now that Uber has pretty much made everyone agree to let them do this? I don't know. I don't know. If it does succeed, I'm sure it's going to be a speeding ticket. I'm sure Uber budgeted for it. But, yeah, now the passengers are getting involved. This is a disaster of epic proportions in the making. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe nothing will happen in the long run. But it feels like there's just an atomic bomb waiting to go off on the company. Drivers are leaving the service in droves. Riders, realizing that they're getting ripped off, are switching to Lyft because they don't want to get ripped off anymore. They're getting tired of finding out that, hey, with this amount of Uber rides I took, you mean to tell me I spent $80 more than I needed to? And this lady who was suing Uber, it was very interesting because Uber tried to sell her idea like, well, you will know upfront what you're going to pay. And she said, well, I would rather pay the actual fare than, be told upfront what it's going to cost. I will save money in the long run. So can I switch to that? And Uber said no. And yeah, so that is, yeah. And of course, another reason Uber won't switch to that is because they're not really charging by mile anymore. They're not. I mean, they're not going to charge less than a certain amount per mile, but they are charging based on location and person and distance. So if, they have your information and they see that, hey, you're a fairly wealthy person, they're probably going to charge you more for your ride just on that basis alone. If they see you coming from an Olive Garden, you might pay $5 more than the person who's getting picked up from McDonald's. If they see you coming out of Santa Ana, it'll cost you a little bit more than if you're coming out of Compton. And the funny thing is, eventually I suspect someone will sue Uber over racism. Because I'm certain locations that have prominently poor Hispanics and African Americans who might not make as much money, they're gonna, they might get charged less, while people from upstanding neighborhoods, hey, if you're white and you live in the upper class, you're going to get charged more. Racially profiling, it's discrimination. Can't do it in business. So, yeah, this delete Uber movement, here's something I want to tell people. First of all, yes, if you're a driver, delete Uber. If you know other drivers, encourage them to delete Uber. And keeping on this channel, I'm going to be starting a new series of videos where I will tell you what you can sign up for to supplement income from Uber. And tell all your friends. Because here's the thing. Uber does not care about the drivers. They sure as heck care about the passengers. And, if they're losing drivers and passengers, that could do some serious damage. If they lose drivers, the surge will go up, which Uber will be taking anyway, so they don't care as much. But passengers who start leaving, well, they're paying customers, so, And all of this is happening right before Memorial Day weekend. Seems like really awful timing, don't you think? So, yeah, Uber's getting sued again. I can't even muster up the excitement to discuss that anymore, and, yeah. And yeah, my delete Uber video is coming. I just want it to be special is all. And I have to prepare for my parents coming, and I spent all day cleaning the house. I'm glad that I was able to chip away a little bit of time to make these 2 videos. But I have like a collaboration video that I did that I need to edit, and that's probably not going to get uploaded until next week. So, yeah. Anyway, I got really off topic on this one. I'm terribly sorry. I'm trying to wrap my head around, how did it get this bad? How did it get this bad? The company doesn't even sound like it functions. It sounds like a Ponzi scheme. It doesn't even sound like a legitimate company anymore. It doesn't sound like a business. It honestly seemed like they had a decent business model when it was like, hey, we charge a minimum $10 and we pay 15%. And under that business model, they were guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, but like, hey, if like, million people took a ride a day, they got $1 million a day. They got over $1 million a day. And they didn't have to own their cars. They didn't have to own facilities except for like their corporate office and some of the customer support centers. And everyone was happy. And that was only if all the rides were base fare. If like half the rides were, 20 miles, then, you're making $2 or $3 million a day. That is not a bad business model for a company that doesn't actually have to produce anything. I don't know. It's just, and now, they're artificially inflating prices, screwing the people, the drivers who actually make the company run and getting them to quit, being investigated by the government, multiple branches of it for that matter, being sued by Google, given a talking to by Apple's Tim Cook. This lawsuit might not succeed because of the terms of service change. But you know what? Screw it. Bring it on. Just, keep bringing it on. Let people know that, yeah, I don't know. So anyway, not one of my better videos, I'll admit, guys. But hey, if you liked it anyway, throw it a like and comment and share, subscribe. If you, in general, enjoy my movies, consider becoming a Patreon or buying some swag from the Great Media Universe store. I mean, now that I'm going to be driving less Uber, that will definitely help keep the videos coming. And as always, flame responsibly, and oh yeah, #delete Uber.